But it's the sort of thing you say for an under-11s team, wasn't it? They lost 14-0, but they did try hard.
Here we go. And Happy New Year to all Eat My Goal listeners and watchers. It is January the 1st. We are recording this on January the 1st, and we have just finished watching the Charlton game, which we'll come to in just a little moment. But for those of you who are new to Eat My Goal, we are Mike and Dan, and we talk. We have 2 episodes per week, one about Portsmouth, one about football in general. This is our Portsmouth episode. So, strap yourself in.
One about Portsmouth and then one about football.
Yeah. This is the Portsmouth episode, and unfortunately, we've kind of started this year pretty much following on from the way we ended last year, playing against a team that were in a bad run of form, but we were the team to change their fortunes. Let's start. Should we start with today's game, or should we start talking about the Ipswich game? Look at the positives, then the negatives.
Let's start with Ipswich first.
Let's start
chronological order.
Let's do that. Yeah. Good. Okay. So, Ipswich game last Thursday. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, we got the early goal. And that's about it.
It was a good goal. It was a good goal.
It was a cracking goal. It was never a free kick.
Did you not think?
No, it was never a free kick. It was just clearing the ball, and Koroma just
soft one. I thought he was a little bit late, and I thought anyway. No. Yeah.
But we got the early goal, and then I thought it was about 15-20 minutes into the game. I thought, well, we're 1-0 up here, and we haven't actually. I realised that I thought, oh, we're playing well, and then I thought, no, actually, we're not playing well, are we? We're not actually doing anything. And I thought the only positive you could take from the game was that we worked really hard. Yeah. And I thought we did work hard, and I thought there was a couple of good performances in there. I thought, give him his credit. I thought Morel had one of his best games that I've seen him play. I thought he was quality, and considering he was ill, or he was one of our ill players, I thought he was very good. He looked like he was really up for it.
Do you mean ill as in the 90s sense of
no?
He was proper
no,
ill.
I mean it in the
he wasn't well.
Yeah. So I mean, credit where credit's due. I thought he was very good. I thought he looked like he was well up for it. He was going in hard.
Yeah, won a couple of headers as well, didn't he?
Won a couple of headers. Yeah.
Guy.
But it was just the same thing again. It was just we were just sort of plodding along, and then, like I say, I just thought, well, actually, we're not really doing anything here, are we? We're not doing all right. We managed to get the second goal against the run of play. I mean, Ipswich weren't great. Ipswich, I think, looked much better on the ball than we did, and they looked like they could string a few passes together.
Nervous defensively, though, weren't they? I thought.
Yeah, they were. But we just sort of huffed and puffed, didn't we? And didn't really get anywhere. Didn't really create any chances. I thought Dale was not good again. I thought his end product again. I feel a bit sorry for him because he does try. He does try and get involved. He's gives 100%, but he just hasn't got that quality at the end of it.
I agree. He's industrious, and he beats 2 or 3 players in non-threatening positions. But I think his final third, his play in the final third, really lacks, doesn't it?
And I thought the best player on the pitch got the equaliser, which was Chaplin. I thought he was head and shoulders above anyone on the pitch. I thought he had a cracking game. But
he looked as if he was clearly the player on the pitch who probably should be playing at a higher level, shouldn't he? Yeah. Which is a shame, because what do we get for him? 200 grand or something stupid like that?
Yeah. Something.
Mental when you look at that now, isn't it?
But I don't know. What did you think? Did you?
I thought we looked quite. What I quite liked is when we did start by a lot. It's high press, but I think we looked better than what we were because they did look very nervous.
Yeah.
But obviously, once we scored, they then came into it. They had 71% possession away from home, I think that kind of says a lot. I kind of liked how we set up, because although we set up not to lose, I think, rather than to win, I did kind of like it. And you look at it, and I suppose on paper you could say it's a negative formation, because I think without the ball we were 5-4-1, weren't we? If you were looking at it, I think with the ball it kind of was, the idea was it's supposed to change to a kind of a 3-4-3, wasn't it? But we didn't have enough of the ball for it to really change that much.
No,
but
we mirrored their formation, didn't we? Really, that was the point of it.
The main difference was that their formation. I think they played their wing backs further up, didn't they? And is it Burns, their right wing back?
Yeah.
Although I thought he didn't get a lot of the game, he was still decent, and I think the quality of their wide players was much better than ours. But having said that, we'd probably have taken the point before the game. It's disappointing, obviously, the way we dropped that point. You know, a lot of people, Griffiths definitely made a mistake. But a lot of people saying he literally threw it back into the area. I think some of the factors you got to look at is he's a young goalkeeper. I know he's not ours; he's on loan, but he is a young goalkeeper. Goalkeeper, sorry. And it was a wet pitch. I think he has done well recently. Yeah, I'm not saying he shouldn't take any of the blame. He should definitely take some of the blame, but I don't think he should take the level of blame that people have been chucking at him.
No. The guy who had the shot, I'm not quite sure who it was. Had enough time to sort of bring the ball 15, 20 yards forward, unchallenged. Curtis was sort of, I know someone else highlighted that.
Labouring back.
Just sort of watching, I think it was Koroma, was it? Would it have been Koroma by that time?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Just watching him sort of
people closing down on him.
No closing down, and then he got the shot off, and then, like you say, he could have done better, but I don't know.
Two things on that
in the back of your head as well, wasn't it? They're going to get that little. Get that equaliser.
It was coming, wasn't it? It was kind of coming. But still, I thought a point was good. And what I thought was good was, like you say, they did work hard, and that's something that you couldn't say that they've done in recent games. I think the work rate has been poor in recent games. You look at the MK Dons game was just horrendous. Just looked disorganised, no effort. And I think that, for me, was kind of enough. It was like, no, not enough. It would have been nice to have won the game. But if we'd have been lucky getting a 2-2 draw, in the fact that, as in, we didn't put any work rate in, I think people probably would be like, well, that's not acceptable. But I actually saw genuine progression, and I thought, okay, well, if we take this into the Charlton game, should be all right.
Yeah.
So, go on.
Moving on to the Charlton game then.
Yeah.
Is
there? Can you say there's any positive? What positives would you take from the Charlton game, if any? Because I know, obviously,
from the Charlton
Cowley's probably game. No, the Charlton game. I think the Ipswich. I think there's some positives from it. Mainly
the positives were the work rate. I thought they tried. I mean, it sounds such a stupid thing to say for a team like Pompey, that they tried hard. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But their work rate was good. But it's the sort of thing you say for an under-11s team, wasn't it? They lost 14-0, but they did try hard. But I mean, I guess that's the positive. The positive was that we didn't. Positive that we got a point against the team that's probably going to get promoted, probably one of the best teams. Well, one of two best teams in the league, and that we didn't. They didn't thrash us. They weren't all over us. We made them look quite ordinary, but that's about it, isn't it? A good free kick. There you go.
Yeah, very good. I think very good free kick. I think that wouldn't have looked out of place in the Premier League. It was literally top corner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
From a decent distance out. But
So
the positives, who haven't seen the Charlton game, obviously we lost 3-1 at home to Charlton. Red card for Pack. I think we were lucky to go in 1-1 at half time. I think we could have quite easily been 3-0 down at that stage. Charlton looked, to me, I thought they looked like they were going to score every time they attacked. And I thought we didn't look like we were even in the game at all. But yeah, go on. Is there any positives come out of it, do you think?
No, not particularly. I thought the first minute, I thought, oh, here we go. We sort of started the same as we did for again, this sounds stupid to say about a professional football team, that I'm measuring their talents, measuring their performance on the basis of 1 or 2 minutes of football. But I thought for the first 2 minutes, I thought, oh, we're up for this. This might be, we might go on and put a good performance in here. And then, the same thing happened, didn't it? Just the go up the other end, first chance, goal. And like you say, Charlton just looked more confident in front of goal, confident going forwards than we do. Scarlett didn't do anything again.
Apart from he had a good chance, didn't he, where he could have probably played it in. I can't remember who was alongside him, but he then tried and beat Curtis, 3 players, didn't he? Tried to go past 3 players and obviously failed.
I thought the defence was poor. I thought Ogilvy was, even though he got the goal, I thought he was poor.
One of his worst games, I think.
I haven't said that. Morel, I thought wasn't bad.
He was probably, I'd say he was probably our best
better players. Pack, I don't know quite what's happened to him. I mean, he got the goal the other night against Ipswich, but he just doesn't seem the player he was in the first 10 games. And I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's that he's just lost confidence or can't be bothered, but that's how it looks. It just sort of looks like he's not interested in getting on the ball.
Or lost confidence in the management, perhaps. Perhaps. I don't know about you, but as soon as he got booked, I thought he's going to get a second yellow. I thought he was going to walk, just because of the nature of the game, the way the game was going, the fact that we weren't getting it at all. And it was very similar, in fact, I think, to the Charlton away game. When we started poorly, they started strongly. And, like you say,
we started all right for the first 5 minutes.
Good first little bit. But as soon as they started getting on top, it was just one-way traffic, wasn't it? And again, Pack in that game, I just thought was lackluster. Didn't really do a lot.
You forget he's there. There half the time.
In fact, I think Morel was playing that game as well. He was playing, so I remember you commenting on the number of sideways and backwards passes Morel made in that game.
That was when I didn't like Morel, but I like him now after 2 games.
I think one of the things from today, though, is, do you think, if you were to rate the players, who would you rate more than 5 out of 10 from today?
Well, let's go through them then. So you'd say Griffiths. Well, I don't think Griffiths did anything wrong. He didn't look great, but he didn't.
Might scrape a 6.
Might scrape a 6. Raggett was poor.
Really
Ogilvy was poor.
Morrison distribution. That challenge he made in the first half, where he just side that play down, such a late challenge. Really poor. Morrison, not much. Swanson, a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people saying Swanson was all right. I don't think he did that.
Well, he didn't do anything wrong, did he? But again, nothing. No.
Although Morel apparently he was the one at fault for Pack's second yellow, allegedly.
Was that who Pack was screaming at?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so Morrison. So Ogilvy, probably his worst game, I'd say. I've seen him play for Pompey. Pack.
Morel was okay. Pack was existent. Curtis, I think I do actually feel a bit sorry for Curtis in that he's sort of a bit of a scapegoat, isn't he? It's always one of, who am I going to take off? Am I going to take off Karoma? I'm going to take off Bishop. Am I going to take off? Or not so much Bishop. He usually gets a game, doesn't he? But Curtis, Dale. Which one am I going to take off? Oh, I'm going to take off you, Curtis, this time. He didn't do anything, but he didn't do anything wrong, I suppose.
Didn't do a lot. Full stop though.
No. Pigott, I don't know. They didn't get a chance to do anything, did they? I don't think Pigott and Scarlett got a chance to do anything really. I mean, like you say, Scarlett had that half chance, a couple of half chances. Curtis had that shot early on, didn't he? Curtis had that shot, and then I think our next shot was the one that Scarlett had. about a couple of minutes before the or was it the one that led to the goal? Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. So, and I thought Dale was really poor again. I don't like to keep singling him out, but there's just no end products. Just can't seem to pass the ball. He won't pass the ball easy, and when he does try and pass the ball easy, he makes a mess of it. So
yeah. That was one thing I noticed about today was, and I don't know, I haven't seen the stats of completed passes and what have you. Didn't go to the Exeter game, obviously. I didn't watch the Exeter game, sorry, but the stat, our passing stats on that was like 64%, which I think is really poor. Today, in fact, I don't know if I have a pass stat, but I just thought the amount of misplaced passes we had today was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. It's kind of, and not even especially in the first half, the amount of passes that we just passed almost just outside our own final third straight to them. And it's like suddenly we've gone from having possession to putting ourselves under unnecessary immense pressure. It was just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I actually thought we played, and again, I don't know if this was similar to the Charlton away game, whereby Charlton then set back because obviously they had the lead and they were just protecting the lead, or they were nervous because obviously they've been on a bad run of form. But I actually thought we played better again once we went down to 10 men. But then every time they did break away, they looked like they would probably score, which they obviously ended up doing. So I felt a little bit sorry for Dale on the actual goal, because that's possibly the last thing he's going to do in a Pompey shirt, isn't it? Because
we got a goal, didn't he? So
got a goal, got a goal. But he, the strong rumours are that he will be recalled tomorrow to Blackpool. So I can't see that he's going to do a lot for Blackpool, but there you go.
No, well, when he the first couple of games we saw him. In fact, I think we saw him in his debut, didn't we? At Fratton Park. Was it his debut at Fratton Park?
Yes,
I'm sure it was one of the first games he played, and we thought, he's all right. He looks but then there's been sort of then there's been no sort of progression from there, has there? No. It's sort of, he looks tricky, he looks industrious, he looks like he's going to be a bit of a handful. But unfortunately, just no end product.
Yeah,
which is a shame, because I think he does give 100%. He does, he's not sort of player that just makes a mistake and then thinks, I won't bother getting involved. But just hasn't really got the quality to match his running aroundedness.
So
positives.
Positives.
We got a point. We got a point on Boxing Day. There's another.
We got a point on Boxing Day away to Exeter. Yes, that's a good point. Well, it's not a good point, but in the circumstances, here's the real thing for me. And you can say, I know we've spoken about Cowley, and we both agree that time is now. Well, I think his tenure has run its course, and it's time to move on and look at other options. Clearly, I think if that doesn't happen within the next 24 hours, it's not going to happen. And I think that won't, even irrespective of what happens, because we don't, no one in their right mind expects us to go to Spurs, even if we were on a good run of form and get something there. I know Spurs are on a bad run of form, but they're still head and shoulders way above us, aren't they? Especially at the moment. But so, what you got to think, because I just think, right, so the manager's poor. If there is somebody available, such as Liam Richardson seems to be the person that most people want, which is fair enough. Obviously, there's links to Pompey, did a good job at Wigan in his time there. Got them up. Obviously knows this league as well. But if it doesn't happen in the next 24 hours, I was thinking, if you're going to bring somebody in, bring them in now. They've then got a week to play, to work with the players. You're then going into a game you don't expect to win anyway, so it doesn't matter. Even if you get spanked 6-0, it doesn't really matter. But you've then pretty much got 2 whole weeks before the next league game where you can work with the players, start getting across your own ideas. Even if there's no budget to bring in players during this window, you can. I think we've got enough good players to do better. No, I think clearly top 2 is out of the question now. I think top 6 is looking unlikely at the moment, but there's still a long way to go. And I think you've got to make that change. I think if you just keep sticking to the status quo. And the key thing for me is, if you look at the teams we've played, with the exception of Ipswich, the teams we've played since that draw against Plymouth at Fratton Park, when for the first 70 minutes we were excellent, and we haven't played the same since those 70 minutes. And some people will say, well, it's good to Lowry going and what have you. But we played Wickham away. Okay, fair enough. Maybe. Who else we have? Milton Keynes at home. Come on. Exeter away. Fair enough. Ipswich. Then you go back into November. So you got Derby at home. I think we should be winning that. Morecambe away. I think you've got a point, but you could say we should be doing better there. No, Wimbledon was the Papa John's. Have a look at things like Shrewsbury at home, Oxford at home. And then you've got our only other win, but even the Forest Green game wasn't a good performance.
No.
So, and then you look at the performances as well. So it's not even as if we're drawing against Oxford and Shrewsbury and thinking, oh, we really should have won that game. We're coming away from draws and thinking, okay, that's a rubbish performance. But then at the time, we were all blaming the injuries to the midfield and things like that. But you can't blame that anymore, can you? Nothing's changing. Nothing's changing. And what I couldn't understand about today is he played that formation against Ipswich. It worked to a degree. I think against a lesser side like Charlton, it probably would have worked better because of the way it was set up. Fair enough, Clark Robinson might have not been available, but you play Ogilvie as one of those free centre-backs, put Hume on. At least you've got balls into the front too. And it's like, why has he gone back to a 4-4-2?
I know.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Like I've said before, I think he's very much about the other team. He's very much about, what's their formation? What do they do? What do they do when they're in possession? What do they do when they're out of possession? Let's do this. Let's do that. Well,
to counter them.
Yeah. Let's not take that strategy and let's do what we want to do and let them try and work us out. But he just very much seems he's all about the formation, the strategy of the opposition and trying to work around that.
But I think that's also now part of the mentality is because I think he approaches the game because they've been on such a bad run. He's now approaching the game as, right, we've got to go out there and not get beat. If we don't get beat, then that's not so bad. Yeah. But like you say, that's not the way you should approach it. You should be confident enough in the way, you look at Ipswich. Ipswich don't set up differently against other teams just because they may tweak things here and there, but they're going out to win the game. Yeah. They're setting up to play to their strengths. I think we're not playing to our strengths at all, not in the slightest. And I think unless he changes that, nothing's going to change. And I don't think, for all due respect to Danny Cowley, I don't think he's capable now of changing that because in any line of business, if he's lost the players or he's lost the people who are working for him, they no longer believe in his philosophy, then what's got to change? Then what you've got to change is the person on top.
Yep, I totally agree. I think it just needs something. You just need to change something because every game is the same now. We've been saying this for weeks. Every game it's the same thing and there is no progression. There is not one game where we've gone, that was a quality 90 minutes. What a performance that was. We were unlucky. It's we started off well, or we did okay when we went down to 10 men, or we did okay when we went down when we were 3-0 down. It's 5 minute, 10 minute periods where we look okay, and it's not full games, and something isn't right. Something isn't right there, and something needs to change. And I think it has to be Cowley or the Cowleys. But do you think it will happen?
I don't think it will. And obviously I read a lot of the. It's always difficult with Twitter, isn't it? Because I think a lot of people, as with any club, you've got a percentage of people who are complete morons and they'll say a load of nonsense no matter what's happening. They'll never be happy. And I'm sure they weren't happy when we were finishing 8th in the Premier League. There's always an issue, whatever the issue was. We should be getting 4th or 5th or whatever. But so you've got to try and work out who those people are and kind of ignore them to a degree. But there's also the vast majority of our fans kind of do back the club, do invest a lot of time and energy into it. And I think I've got a good opinion. But I think if you took a cross-section of Twitter, I think the vast majority now see, and you can see it from the end of the game, obviously. I think the vast majority now are in the situation whereby it's like, it's got to go. And I think the longer he doesn't, the more they're then going to start being toxic towards the owners. because I think there's a lot of people who are being toxic towards the owners already, saying that they're bottlers, they're not prepared to pull the plug and stuff like that, because it's going to cost them money. I don't think money is necessarily the issue. I think maybe it's just because they don't understand the game enough, or maybe Andrew Cullen isn't the right man as CEO to understand the game enough to know that, you know, if you really want to succeed, you've got to make some tough decisions. You'd like to think they are, because they're obviously business people and they've obviously got to where they are for making tough decisions. But it's difficult, isn't it? It is difficult. A lot of people say he's a nice guy, but it doesn't really matter whether you're a nice guy or not, does it?
No.
I listened to a thing yesterday on TalkSport, but they were saying about how some of the Argentina players were, not. They were the way they celebrated was inappropriate with the Martinez thing, and the Mbappe on the World Cup and things like that. And the discussion basically went that, I'd rather moan about our team winning and not being particularly nice guys than going, we're good sports, but unfortunately we lost again. And I can kind of see that. You don't want your sports stars being complete dicks, but I'd rather have somebody in charge who comes across as a bit of a dick but wins things. Got us up.
Well, that's the business, isn't it?
That's the business.
The business is winning.
The business is winning.
So
I don't think just because he's a nice guy he should stay. So sorry, Danny Cowley, but our opinion is time is up. I don't think he'll quit. I think obviously he's going to get a big payoff if he gets sacked. If he quits, he loses that. Anyway, Spurs are up next.
Yeah.
What can go wrong?
It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Just a bit of fun, that game.
Yeah, I think we should move on now, and we'll tell you all that if you're not going to the Bolton game on the 10th of January, well, what you should do is you should tune in to us, because we're going to do a live watch-along. And if you're not familiar with what a live watch-along is, do you want to explain, Dan, what a live watch-along is?
Absolutely not.
So
we're going to watch the game.
We're going to watch the game, and we're going to do commentary of our own. So if you don't want to get it on iFollow or whatever it's on, you can tune into us and have a bit of a laugh, either at our expense or probably at Portsmouth's expense, maybe. But that'll be the Bolton game, 10th of January. It's away. It's a Tuesday evening. If you've got nothing better to do, spend an hour and 45 minutes with us watching football together. It'll be a bit of a laugh, I think.
And hopefully there'll be some positives.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be some positives. I think that pretty much concludes today's episode.
Well,
if you have enjoyed... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I've got a weekly whinge.
Now, I didn't know whether
it's very much related to Pompey, so I don't know whether you want me to do it now and get it out of the way.
Go on, do it.
Right, okay. So my weekly whinge, this is something from the world of football that I like to, that I've going to moan about, and this week's is this little fella.
Who's this little fella?
This is League One referees.
Do you know what? Funnily enough, I did want to talk about League One referees, but I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, absolutely.
So this is something that's been sort of pissing me off for the whole season, and it's reached boiling points on the Ipswich game, actually. Not that the referee made, well, I say that he didn't make any horrendous decisions, but I think the goal that we scored from the free kick was from a very soft free kick. And it's just a moan really about the standard of refereeing in League One in general. And the referee for that game was Sam Allison. Sam Allison. And it's just that the attitude of some of these referees, that they're so confident with their wrong decisions, and just bizarre decisions that sort of go against what everyone in it. I mean, I think they even made a point of that on the commentary. There's sort of there was a few where the referee didn't give a foul, and the whole crowd was screaming for a free kick. The team, and not just for Pompey. I'm talking both.
Yeah, both ways.
Yeah. And there just seems to be. I mean, I know they are League One referees. They're not Premier League referees. they've got full-time jobs, etc., or they should have full-time jobs. But I just think the standard is so poor, and it's not just from the referees as well, but from the assistant referees. There seems to be no. I think we noticed it a lot this season. I think we noticed it in the Plymouth game at home, where they're not doing anything to help their referees either. They're not waving their flag and saying, "Oh, it's a free." You're 30 yards away. There's a free kick right in front of me here. They're not doing.
Yeah, one that really springs to mind is we were in the South Stand for this game, but the Plymouth game, where Rico Hackett was practically getting wrestled to the ground.
Yeah,
literally a few yards. It was, obviously we were kind of probably equal. No, we weren't. We were much further away from the linesman, and the linesman was obviously right in front of it from the edge of the penalty area, and it was just inside the penalty area, but he was literally hauled to the ground right in front. I think the linesmen tend to, in those sort of situations, tend to look towards the referee to see if there's any, and it's not until the referee reacts that they then react. And it's just like, well, what's the point in you being there? Are you just there to flag offsides and give throw-ins? Is that it?
You're an assistant referee, are you not? So you're supposed to be assisting your referee, and it's like you say, it's just it's almost like, oh, I don't want to give it until the referee's given it.
But I get it. It must be difficult, especially at places like Fratton Park, where it can be quite hostile, and you are, particularly for a lino, where you're stood, just a stone's throw away or a coin's throw away from thousands of people. And it must be quite intimidating for some people. But ultimately, that's your job. That's what you're getting paid to do. And if you don't like it, don't do it. But I 100% agree. And funnily enough, me and my son had a discussion about this during the Ipswich game, and he was saying he's at university at the moment in Colchester, and one of his friends at university is a fan of, I can't remember which team it is, but it's a non-league side, so he goes to quite a few non-league games. But he also watches some League One game, some Pompey games with my son, and he is of the opinion that the non-league refereeing is a better standard, or it's
really
what's the National League? What's it called now? The Vanarama Conference or whatever it is of a better standard than League One. He just said he completely unbiased opinion. He said it was terrible, the games he's watched. But like you say, not just for Pompey, because I don't think any of the games we've talked about recently have been down to a refereeing decision. But the quality of referee has just been it's weird. It's just weirdly bad.
It is weird. It's just consistently inconsistent and just odd decisions, and it's just the confidence of which they're going, no, that was not a free kick, and it's just like, well, it clearly was a free kick. So what are you not seeing that 18,000 people are seeing? I just don't get it. And I even looked to see what sort of salary they'd be getting League One referees, and I couldn't find a stat anywhere. I could only get Premier League.
Are they full time? I don't think they are.
Well, but I was just trying to see any sort of how much they would be paid per game.
It must be decent. It must be decent.
Your Premier League referees, they say, have got there's a salary of between 38.5 and 42 K per year,
really?
And then they get £1,500 per game on top of that.
Oh, okay, right. So that's kind of like a retainer.
That's right. And assistants get 600. But no, I looked and I couldn't see anything for League One. It's that they talk about Premier League, they talk about Championship, and then they talk about foreign country.
So if you're a referee in the Premier League and you get, let's say, 35 grand, and you do 20 games, we're going to do more than 20 games, aren't you? But let's say you do 20 games, and it's £1,500 a game.
Yeah.
So you're looking at. So that's 30 grand. So you're looking at 65 grand, 70 grand. Okay. I would have thought it'd be more, to be fair. Bearing the amount of money that's in the game. But
they say they can sort of get. They say it ranges between, all depending on how many games they do and whether they do Champions League games, etc. But it's sort of like between 70 and 140k, they reckon.
Oh, right, okay.
So
Fair
League
news.
One, I think they do it for a pint of Pompey beer.
35 quid, like a Sunday league.
Yeah, a pint of Pompey beer and a moist cheeseburger.
Do you reckon that those referees go into Cowley at half time and say, let's
Oh.
I've got a family, I've got a family.
I've got kids to feed, haven't I?
Kids
I'm
to
putting
feed.
one through nursery.
I'm doing you a favour by doing
Don't
this.
shout. Yeah, don't shout. Don't shout.
If you could go and mention that to the 18,000 people out there as well.
Yeah.
Over the tannoy.
Yeah.
They did that over the tannoy, didn't they? Oh, we've got to mention that.
We didn't
What
talk
was that
about
all
that, did we?
about?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Please be kind. Please be kind, everybody, to your friends and the people on the pitch.
This festive period, please be kind to your fellow man, particularly those out there working their socks off.
Who on earth thought that was a good idea?
No.
I bet I don't know who the announcer is at Pompey, but I bet somebody slipped in that letter or that note, and I bet he read it and went, "Oh, for fuck!
Are you kidding me?
Have I really got to say that?" Okay.
What other reactions that
hi,
going to get
everyone.
other than
the reaction it got? Yeah. Hi,
it was never going to get a
please
good point.
Please
good
be
point.
kind. please be kind.
Please be kind. Bad decision whoever did that. Anyway, right. So let's conclude. But refereeing has been terrible. So that concludes our episode 20. That is episode 20 in the bag, in the can. If you want to get in contact with us, don't. If you're new to this pod, don't base it on this episode. There's plenty of good content out there. You just got to look for it. You've got to look quite hard on some of the episodes, but
some of them there is no good content at all, and that's just the risk you take of sitting and watching for an hour.
It is a lottery. But if you put it on 1.5 speed, it at least becomes funny because of our voices become quite funny, as if we had helium. But if you do want to get in contact with us, it's eatmygoal22 at gmail.com, written down below here somewhere. Facebook, Twitter, all the same. Eatmygoal22 is where you want to find us. Right, that's it for this one. There'll be a much more upbeat one following shortly later this week. There will. Okay, thanks very much. No, not a Pompey one. Not Pompey. This is the general football one where we have more fun.
That'll be upbeat. Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. Anyway, see you then. Bye for now.